So, Mike, talk to us a little about, and we've been hearing a lot about this, and it's got a lot of people interested, and that is the LPR, license plate recognition systems across the country. And when I first heard of it, I just thought it was, the cameras being mounted on toll roads. Obviously, that's not that's not the case, or highways. Tell us about LPR, how it came about, what that business even looks like. It's a separate business all its own, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a separate tool on its own, and some lenders use it almost like a separate strategy. We tend to just incorporate it into our core strategies. But LPR has revolutionized a lot of different businesses, everything from law enforcement to collections and recovery. When it comes to collateral recovery, historically, repossession-related efforts have focused around where people work and where they live. LPR focuses on everywhere else. We partner with a company called Digital Recognition Network, or DRN, and they're sort of the 800-pound gorilla in the industry. And they're now a unit of Motorola. But through the DRN network, DRN has sold their camera kits to there's about 4,500 repossession vehicles with these camera kits installed on them, and they're all connected to laptops in the vehicles that contain a database of equipment and vehicles that are out for repossession. And these camera-equipped units are just cruising up and down every type of parking lot you can imagine, whether it be truck stops, sporting events, office parking lots, you name it. And that network alone, by the way, scans almost 175 million plates every month. So every single month.
That is an amazing number.
And every time they scan a plate, it's instantaneously compared to a database of license plates on vehicles that are out for repossession. And when there's a match, there's an instant alarm that goes off with that recovery agent. Now, again, you got to be careful not to repossess vehicles that are no longer eligible for repossession. So, to facilitate that, we man a 24/7, 365 call center. So, whether it's at 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning, if a driver has scanned a plate that appears to be out for repossession, they call our dispatch center. We confirm that case is still open, still eligible for recovery, and then we authorize it, and they hook it on the spot.
Fascinating.
And again, it's had an enormous impact on the industry. Upwards of 30% of our recoveries today come from that technology. And that, what I just described to you, is what we call the live version of the platform. But every time that we put it in, and again, keep in mind, 175 million new scans a month, there's a database that exists right now of about 6 billion of these scans. So every time we enter a VIN into the system, it not only activates it for the live monitoring, but we get a location history for the past 12 months, which is a very powerful skip tracing tool, especially when you combine it with other sources of data. Just one example, and we see this all the time, but let's say we get a case from a lender. We think that equipment is, let's say it's a commercial vehicle of some sort. We think it's in Texas. All of a sudden we get a license plate scan at a Walmart in, Seattle, Washington. And then we combine that with other data and that we have, and see that the borrower's brother lives 2 miles from that Walmart. Well, that totally changes the nature of our investigation. Even though that scan may have been from 3 months ago, that's still a very valuable piece of skip tracing data.
So it is harder to hide these
Much
days.
Harder. Much harder. Well, it's much harder to hide, but at the same time, every state has passed pretty tough what's referred to as breach of peace regulations. So while you may be able to find a piece of equipment, you may see it right on the other side of a fence, you don't have agents don't have as much discretion on how they actually get their hook on that equipment as they have in the past.